Hello, boxing fans. Welcome back to Talk and Fight, another episode of Boxing News Today, courtesy of our friends over at boxing247.com. Let's start off with a little news from the AIBA, who are trying to get in the good books with the IOC still. Ahead of the AIBA Extraordinary Congress to be held on 12th of December, the board of directors met and unanimously approved recommendations and constitutional amendments established in a report of an independent governance reform group, the GRC, led by Professor Ulrich Haas. As AIBA delivers continued reforms in all areas, the independent GRC was appointed to review AIBA's current governance structures, access to these structures against international best practice, and issue concrete recommendations for future improvement. And in the words of AIBA President Umar Kremlev, he says, boxing should always come first. And so we look forward to the continuing proposals and as they're implemented as we move towards the next Olympics. For the full details, please go to boxing247.com. Elsewhere, we see that the WBC held a press conference in Bangkok to promote next week's WBC Night of Champions dinner and an award event to celebrate all former and current WBC boxing champions from Thailand. The country has crowned 28 WBC champions throughout the decades and continues to be a strong flag bearer for the WBC and WBC affiliated titles across Asia. The Night of Champions event will be staged at Bangkok's world-famous Lumpina Boxing Stadium on December 6th. Congratulations to all those champions and a good event, I'm sure, for our Thai friends. Elsewhere, back on November 27 last weekend at Madison Square Gardens, we saw Raymond Ford defend his WBA Continental America's featherweight title with a great technical knockout victory over Felix Caraballo. The young American had one of his best performances on the undercard of the event, which featured George Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez, which was the main event we all saw. And Ford displayed all of his skills and got the technical knockout in the 8th round after dominating on all cards for the previous 7 rounds. The undefeated fighter has 10 wins, 1 draw, and 6 knockouts. Whereas in the case of Puerto Rican Caraballo, his record has dropped to 13 wins, 4 losses, 2 draws, with 9 knockouts. Elsewhere, over in Jönköping, Sweden, also on the 27th of November, Swedish fighter Patricia Burkholt, who's 15-0, won the vacant WBC Super Welterweight title by defeating Switzerland's Olivia Belkansen, who's 10-3. It was a tough fight for both of them, but Berghult showed the highest quality to win the biggest victory of her career. Coming up at York Hall in London, England on December 3rd, Luis Alberto Lopez Isaac, low featherweight title eliminator, stream live on ESPN+. Less than 3 months after dominating the previously undefeated Gabriel Flores Jr., Luis Alberto El Venado Lopez hopes to earn a world title shot. He'll face the undefeated British contender Isaac, the Westgate Warrior Low, in a 12-round IBF featherweight title eliminator, as I said, on December 3rd. That's this Friday at York Hall over in London. The Lopez Low fight and supporting bouts will stream live, as I said, on ESPN Plus in the United States. Lopez, who's 23-2 with 11 knockouts, is the IBF number 5 contender. He hails from Mexicali, Mexico, and he's riding a 6-bout winning streak since the 2019 loss to Ruben Villa. And he edged Andy Vences by split decision in 2020 Fight of the Year contender. Then started his 2021 campaign in Mexico with a first-round knockout. So that should be a good fight. We look forward to seeing it. Another streaming action over in London. Undefeated former WBC flyweight world champion Charlie Edwards, who's 16-1 with 6 knockouts, will make his second bantamweight appearance in an 8-rounder against Spanish veteran Jacob Arada, who's 13-3 with 5 knockouts. Also, junior middleweight prospect Jordan Reynolds, who's 3-0 with 1 knockout, will face the durable Blaise Paca Mukia, who's 2-3-1 in a 6-rounder. Mukia has never been stopped as a professional. Welterweight upstart Elliot Whale, who's 4-0 with 1 knockout, will face Miroslav Serban, who's 13-7 with 7 knockouts in a 6-rounder. While junior welterweight puncher Shiloh DeFritas, who's 1-0 with one knockout, returns in a 4-rounder against 17-fight veteran Dario Barroso. As I say, for more information on all this activity, please go to boxing247.com. Speaking of the women, Monserrat Alarcon is going toe-to-toe against Sylvia Torres. Alarcon will make her third defense of her WBA minimum lightweight championship against Torres on Saturday night at the Polyforum in Leon, Mexico. The WBA 102-pound champion will have a nice duel against Torres in which the Mexican pride will come out for the black and gold crown of the Pioneer organization. Alarcon arrives with a great winning streak that has made her the best in the category. She has not lost a fight since 2018 and has won 6 straight fights in that span to make it clear her good sporting momentum. Torres, on the other hand, wants to complicate the champion's night and has enough experience to put her in trouble. She's already been the interim champion in the past and has faced several good level opponents, making her a strong challenger for Alarcon. Elsewhere, we see that Jessica McCaskill is going toe-to-toe against Candy Wyatt, a Canadian. From the MGM Grand on December 4th, that's this Saturday night, the undisputed world welterweight champion, Jessica McCaskill, will defend her titles against Canadian challenger Candy Wyatt, who's 10-3 with 3 knockouts in a special attraction this Saturday night, as I said, in MGM Grand at Las Vegas. McCaskill, who's 10-2 with 3 knockouts, successfully defended her 147-pound world belt against the legendary Cecile Breakhouse in a rematch with the Norwegian Colombian last March in Dallas. Casquilla became a two-division queen when she first defeated Breakhouse as the American moved up to welterweight after fighting in the super lightweight division. McCaskill defeated Argentine world champion Erika Farias to take the WBC 140-pound title from her in October 2018 and then defeated Argentine world champion Anaheim Sanchez in May of 2019 and defended her championship, defeating Farias again in 2019. In the main event on that same card, it should be noted, the WBC lightweight champion Devin Haney, who's been featured on Talkin Fight many times, faces interim champion Joseph Jojo Diaz. And that came up in a conversation that Neil Adil was having the other day on his show. Elsewhere, we see that Gervonta Tank Davis is going toe-to-toe against Isaac Cruz. This will be held at the Staples Center down in Los Angeles on December 5th. And they will meet for the WBA lightweight title. Tank will return to the ring to defend his 135-pound crown against the Mexican in a bout that promises a lot of action and excitement due to both fighters' styles and their records. Davis is one of the most impressive fighters in the world, and at 26 years of age, he has won titles in 3 weight classes, which speaks of his quality and projection. He captured the lightweight belt in December 2019 when he defeated Cuba's Yorkis Gamboa by unanimous decision over in Atlanta. He then defended that crown against Leo Santa Cruz in October 2020 with one of the most impressive knockouts of that year, and he'll now make that second defense. It's worth mentioning that Davis fought last June against Mario Barrios at super lightweight and will now return to the lightweight division. Cruz, on the other hand, appeared as the best replacement option once Rolando Romero, who was the mandatory challenger, could not take the fight due to a different problem. Cruz is one of the best opponents available for Davis, and he's ranked number 8 and is on an impressive streak. The 23-year-old Pitbull has made a name for himself in the United States with his recent performances. In October 2020, he knocked out Diego Magdaleno, and in 2021, he beat Argentines Jose Matias Romero and compatriot Francisco Vargas. The bout's going to be broadcast on Showtime, and I encourage all of you to take a look at that fight. It's going to be a good one. Favorite of ours, Tank Davis. Anyway, Eric Morales is going up against Orlando Salido over in the Rodeo Arena in Mesquite, Texas on December 17th. Former 4-division world champion Eric Terrible Morales and Orlando Salido will face off at the Rodeo Arena on December 17th in a charity exhibition match. The proceeds will be used to support amateur boxing and continue carrying out Boxing Week, which aims to support women against domestic violence and children against bullying. Excellent activity. The promoter, Boxing Showcase, will bring this exhibition bout to Texas to the delight of boxing fans and will serve as a framework for the second semifinal of the national tournament of the Big Belt Championship. Eric Terrible Morales was the first Mexican boxer to win world championships in 4 divisions: super bantamweight, featherweight, super featherweight, and super lightweight. He starred in different spectacular battles and famous trilogies in 3 divisions with Marco Barrera and the champion in 8 divisions, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. For his part, Orlando Siri Salido starred in dramatic fights that kept the fans on the edge of their seat. He was the world featherweight and super featherweight champion and fought tremendous fights against Juan Marquez, Yurkis Gamboa, Juan Lopez, Mikey Garcia, Orlando Cruz, Vasily Lomachenko, and Francisco Vargas. Excellent, excellent stuff. Elsewhere, Israil Madrimov and Michael Soro going toe-to-toe. They can, let's see, Renaissance Hall over in Uzbekistan. Israil Madrimov can take a step closer to achieving his world title dream when he faces Michael Soro in a final eliminator for the WBA Super Welterweight crown in another huge night for the Uzbekistan boxing at the Renaissance Hall over in Tashkent, over on Uzbekistan, December 17th. Madrimov, who's 7-0, undefeated, with 5 knockouts, is the number 2 ranked super welterweight in the WBA, who outpointed the Democratic Republic of Congo's Emily Colombo, who had won all 14 of his professional contests inside the distance before facing the Dream last time out at the Huma Arena in Tashkent, on the undercard of the Akhmadaliev win over Rashkaya Awasi. Francis Soro, who's 35-2-1 with 24 knockouts, is ranked number 1 in the world at 154 pounds with the WBA and secured mandatory status in 2018 with a 2-round wipeout of USA's Greg Venditti. Reigning WBA Gold World Super Welterweight champion scored a pair of knockouts over his compatriots Anderson Prestott and Cedric Vitu in 2019, but hasn't fought since. Uzbekistan's undefeated super lightweight star Shakram Giasov, who's 11-0 with 9 knockouts, returns to action against Argentines Christian Rafael Correa, who's 29-8-2 with 13 knockouts, after successfully defending his WBA international title with a 3rd-round stoppage win over Patricio Lopez Moreno back in April. There are other fighters on the undercard, all listed on boxing247.com. I advise you to go check it out. Jermell Charlo is going toe-to-toe against Brian Carlos Castano in their second bout at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Charlo and Castano fought one of the most exciting fights of the year on July 17th at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, concluding in a draw. Immediately after the official result was given, there was talk of the rematch, and here we have it, as both fighters are still determined to show who's the best fighter at 154 pounds. Charlo won the WBC belt back in May of 2016 by defeating John Jackson by knockout in the 8th round. And although he lost that title in December 2018 to Tony Harrison, he regained it a year later. He defeated Jason Rosario in September 2020, winning the IBF and WBA championships by knocking him out in 8 rounds. Castano, for his part, became world champion in February 2021 when he defeated Brazilian Patrick Teixeira by unanimous decision. Elsewhere, we see that Amir Khan and Kell Brook have been announced to go toe-to-toe at the AO Arena in Manchester. That'll be taking place on February 19th. And we have a couple of quotes. Kell Brook says, "It's been so frustrating for me. I've been wanting this for so many years. He's never given me respect. He's never acknowledged me. He's always run away. And now at this part of his career, there's nowhere else for him to run. So now he wants to fight." Amir Khan, for his part, replied, "I've never run from Kell, never needed to. My achievement in the sport speaks for itself. We're here now. There's no point crying about the past. In the past, I don't think he deserved the fight. Now it's come to a stage where I'm waiting to give him a big shot in the face. All that big talk he's been doing, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Come February 19th, we will see what he can do and how he can back those words up." Look forward to that fight. That's going to be indeed a good one. Finally, Mauricio Sulaiman, the president of WBC, has some interesting comments for us on how 2021 had panned out. He decried it as the year of boxing. as we found ourselves in the middle of a claustrophobic lockdown due to the COVID pandemic. Anyway, a couple of comments from him as we celebrated the year. He said, and he pointed out, it was 2021, and it was 100 years after the first $1 million gate in 1921, when Jack Dempsey beat George Carpentier, which generated $1,879,000. 2021 was also the 50th anniversary of the fight of the century between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, which was held at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Not that this is spectacular, but promoters Don King and Bob Arum celebrated their 90th birthdays this past year. And this is also the 40th anniversary of the great fight between Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns, and the 15th anniversary of the first WBC women champion, Jackie Nava, and also 15 years after the creation of the WBC Cares program. He goes on to mention what a spectacular year it was for the WBC, and you can go to the boxing247.com for a great roundup of all the WBC activity and a ton of great photos. I encourage you to go visit that site, have fun checking it out, and remember to like, share, and subscribe our channel, and hit that notification bell to let you know when we're coming up next, and we'll see you tomorrow again at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you.